Welcome everyone to Presidio's 2026 commencement ceremony. I'm Emily Pellissier. I'm our executive director here at the Presidio Center for Sustainable Solutions. We are thrilled to be celebrating the achievements of 26 outstanding graduates here today. The graduates before you have dedicated the last few years of their lives to equipping themselves with tangible skills, lifelong connections, and deep knowledge necessary to drive positive change in the world. We are grateful to the board members, current and former faculty, University of Redlands leadership, as well as our longstanding community founders who have joined us here today. We are also honored to welcome many of our graduates' friends and family who have come to celebrate their achievements. You all have provided the crucial support that has allowed each of our graduates to take on this next phase of their education. Thank you to all of you for your support. Each of the graduates before us has played an integral role in the evolution of our Presidio community and of our world. It has been an honor to witness the hard work and dedication that you have each brought into this program and transform into real-world, meaningful change. As an alumna myself, I have seen each of you grapple with not only wicked global problems, but complex team dynamics, daunting quantitative assignments, demanding EL clients, and the personal life challenges that you face during your time here at Presidio. Although those moments may not have been the most fun of your Presidio experience, they are when the profound, life-changing work happens. They are also what have shaped each of you into the resilient and compassionate leaders graduating here today. As you go forth as alumni, I hope you realize that your time at Presidio is not over. From the moment you became a Presidian, you will always be a member of our vibrant, living, and growing community connected by a common goal, to build a flourishing future for all. As alumni, we not only hope, but expect that you will continue to foster and steward our community. We hope that you will always find a home here and return often to share your wisdom and mentorship with the next generation of Presidians. But first, let's celebrate all of you. We're going to start with the first of our 3 student speakers who were nominated by their peers to share today, Alexandra Bogdan. Alex will be sharing some opening words of gratitude. Alex's peers described her as a resilient, brilliant, and deeply kind leader who brings out the best in everyone, balancing heart, humor, and serious brain power while building strong, joyful communities wherever she goes. Following Alex's opening words, we will hear from our School of Business and Society Dean, Dr. Jennifer Madden. We will then hear from Presidio champion and University of Redlands trustee, Suzanne Farver. And finally, we will have another student award presented by Presidio faculty member Andrea Prebis-Williams. So please help me in welcoming Alex to the stage.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Alex Bogdan, and it is my great pleasure to welcome you here today. A special thank you to my classmates for allowing me this honor to speak. I'd like to start with a grounding moment of gratitude, an appreciation of all the people who supported us during this long and arduous journey, the people that are present today, those that are watching online, and those that are with us in spirit, because we did not get here alone. To the Presidio administration and faculty, thank you for upholding the magic of this place. You didn't just give us knowledge and frameworks. You gave us a new lens through which to see the world, and you held space for us. Every opening circle, every classroom discussion, even on the most delicate of topics, you created the conditions for each of us to show up authentically. To our friends and families, today belongs to you too. You stood by us relentlessly. You practiced patience, supporting us through every residency weekend, every late night group project meeting. You showed us grace as the dishes piled up and the laundry too. And you carried the weight of our stress so that we could pursue our purpose. And for that, we are forever grateful. And to the class of 2026, I've just got so much love for y'all. I'll admit, I didn't quite know what I had signed up for 3 years ago when I applied for Presidio. We each arrived with our own ambitions, a collection of individuals from different cities with different lived experiences and different visions of what making an impact looks like. But lucky for us, we understood that it's those differences that make us stronger. From the very start, I felt my soul catch fire because I knew I had found my people. We came to Presidio because we believed something radical. That business doesn't have to extract, it can restore. That government doesn't have to be a barrier, it can be a bridge. We came here to deepen our expertise, to make a career pivot, or to figure out what's next. But what I did not expect, was to leave here more human than when we arrived. And for that is my ultimate gratitude. My fellow graduates, my friends, stop crying, Amanda, you're gonna get me. Do not forget the magic of this time, of these people, and of this place. Do not forget the community that will always lift you up. And do not forget to pick up the phone and check in on your homies. But most of all, I want you to never forget that your leadership and your humanity is exactly what this world needs. So let's go out there. Let's lead with our full selves. Stay weird, stay curious, and stay grounded in what brought us here together. Thank you.
All right, that was wonderful. Dr. Jennifer Madden, Dean for the School of Business and Society, and to the 2026 graduates of the Presidio Center for Sustainable Solutions. Yes. Today is not just a milestone, it is a reflection of everything that you have carried, navigated, and achieved to be here, right? And I want to begin by simply saying, I see you. I see you. I see the tremendous effort it took to get to this moment, the competing priorities, the moments of doubt, and the moments when something finally clicked. I see the work you've done to complete this remarkable program, stretching how you think, how you lead, and how you understand your place in the world. You leave here with expanded skills, a powerful network, and a deeper responsibility to shape institutions, markets, systems that are worthy of the future they claim to build. You leave here today not simply with a degree, but with a way of seeing that reveals how deeply interconnected our world truly is. You have learned to navigate complexity, wicked problems, and the reality of polycrisis, right? You are boundary spanners, solution finders. This will influence the goals you pursue, the rules you design, the mental models, the paradigms through which you understand the world. This is your preparation. You will build organizations that do not merely extract value but regenerate it. You will design systems that are not linear and wasteful, but circular and enduring. You will lead enterprises that recognizes the interdependence of communities, ecosystems, and histories. This is your training. Your grounding in systems thinking gives you the ability to solve challenges that don't yet exist, to anticipate complexity, and to navigate uncertainty, and to design sustainable solutions. At the heart of this transformation is what makes a Presidian. Training that does not separate business from impact or leadership from responsibility. We are living in challenging times, but it is also a moment of extraordinary opportunity. Because when systems shift, so does the ability to influence them. When assumptions are questioned, new possibilities emerge. When old models reach their limits, new ones can be built. That is the work before you. Not to inherit the world as it is, but to participate in what it is becoming. Not to wait for change, but to help shape it. Not to stand outside systems, but to step inside them and redesign them with intention. The future is not something you enter, it is something you build. So build it with intention, build it with integrity, and build it so that others may thrive within it. At the 2026 Unconference yesterday, I saw the future. Interventions were practical, necessary, and urgent. This is what your leadership is becoming. Not management of the status quo, but stewardship of transformation. Not optimization of isolated firms, but redesign of interconnected systems. Not short-term gain, but long-term viability for people, for communities, for the planet. You are prepared for this work. More importantly, you are needed for it. Remember that the most powerful systems are not those that dominate, but those that sustain. You do not go forward alone. You are part of a community of Presidio graduates of the University of Redlands School of Business and Society, and of a growing global network of leaders committed to business as a force for good. We will be watching with pride, with expectation, and with hope. Stay connected. We will remain a renewable source of support, partnership, and possibility. So as you go forward, I offer you this charge. Keep your face to the wind, not to be carried blindly by it, but to understand its force and to navigate with clarity. Be yourself. Create space for others. Seek innovation and regeneration. Yes, the work is difficult and it is meaningful. So hold on to resilience, hold on to curiosity, and hold on to joy. Remember that the work of transformation is not sustained by urgency alone. It is sustained by purpose, by community, and by the belief that a better future is both necessary and possible. You leave here prepared not only to succeed, but to contribute. Not only to lead, but to serve. Not only to do well, but to do good. And in doing so, you will leave the world better than you found it. Congratulations, graduates. Now go forward and create the change sometimes only you will see.
Now that is a hard act to follow. Man, woman, everyone. Thank you so much for being here today. It's just so great to see this, all the families here supporting the graduates and all the graduates smiling and crying and all the things you're doing. So let my congratulations be added to those above. I'm here to award a lovely award which was in my honor, which I'm just like, whoa, it really makes me feel special and humbled. So I'm honored to introduce the recipient of the Suzanne Farver Spirit Award. I've been around this place for a while and just very, grateful for the recognition. The world sees me, yes, the universe has spoken. I hope they're all okay. This award is granted by the peers, your graduating peers, who recognize someone who truly embodies the heart, soul, and spirit of the Presidio community. And this year's awardee is Olivia Porrett. Oh, wait. I asked her to stay in her seat so I'll say all the nice things about her and not have to embarrass her while she stands here looking at all of you. So as I said, Olivia was chosen by her fellow graduates. She's someone who consistently goes above and beyond to ensure that every student feels welcomed, included, and celebrated. She has a remarkable ability to foster community, bringing people together in a thoughtful, creative, and lasting ways. Olivia is both level-headed and visionary. She not only generates ideas, but follows through, turning inspiration into action. She is consistently present, offering insight, feedback, and leadership that strengthen Presidio as a whole, and she puts in the work to make meaningful change happen. Throughout her time here, she led the Student Experience Pod within the Student Representatives Leadership Organization, spearheading initiatives that helped define the student experience. From leading the dance-off committee, that must be fun, to organizing a clothing swap. I could do that. Love to have that happen at my place. Come on over. Creating a kudos board. I'd like to know more about that too. Coordinating Valentine's Day grams and hosting seasonal celebrations, Olivia has built spaces for connection, joy, and belonging. Her peers have said she has tirelessly worked to create amazing community events and advocated for changes that improve courses and the community as a whole, and that she is always doing more for the community and organizing important student experience events. Presidio is stronger today thanks to Olivia's presence, her leadership, and her unwavering commitment to others. I have no doubt she will make a big difference in her future ventures. So now, please join me in celebrating the authenticity, generosity, and extraordinary dedication of this year's Suzanne Farver Spirit Award recipient, Olivia Porrett. Sorry, I have one more thing. Next comes Andrea Prebis-Williams to award the Eva Auchincloss Award. And I just wanted to say a little bit about Eva. She passed away this year. And now I'm going to need the box of Kleenex, I'm sorry. She was an incredible person. You guys all know. She was one of the founders of Presidio along with Dick Gray and Stephen Swig. I came onto this board largely because of Eva. She was I interviewed in front of her and got the passing grade, I guess. But she led a long, rich life. She was an incredible athlete. She played tennis up into her 80s, I think. She was part of the Women's Sports Foundation with Janet Guthrie. She testified in front of Congress in the support of Title IX. She was involved in many, many wonderful organizations in San Francisco. She was on the Mayor's Council. She was a delegate for the U.S. Olympics. I mean, this woman she was so, you would never know. She was so genuine, and she came to graduation as late as a couple years ago, but then her health was failing. And so we're sorry that she's passed, but she left a very generous bequest to support the endowment of Presidio, which is a first for us. And I'm just thrilled that we are continuing this award, even though she's no longer with us. So I'd like to introduce Andrea, who will say a few more words about Eva, but I just wanted to, flesh that out a bit. Thank you.
Thank you, Suzanne. Congratulations, graduates. You all look great. It's great to be here with you. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Andrea Prebis-Williams. I'm faculty member here at Presidio. First of all, again, congratulations. You did it. You made it here. It's a big, big deal. The faculty and I have been so impressed with the caliber of your work and the dedication to making the world a better place. I also want to say thank you to the loved ones who supported you throughout this journey. They do you proud today. Right now, I have the great honor of presenting the Eva Auchincloss Award for Academic Excellence to one of our graduates. Eva was an early board member, having joined in 1993. Her dedication, her contributions to Presidio were both extensive and varied, and her financial support over the year was always very generous. The award, named in her honor, recognizes students who have shown exemplary academic achievement and a commitment to building a more just and sustainable world. The student chosen for the award this year demonstrated academic rigor and achievement. They graduate today with a 4.0. This is a great achievement on its own, but what separated this student from the many other top grade earners was a clear and evident dedication to learning. I don't know if I've ever encountered a student who milked every ounce of opportunity from this program. They regularly went above and beyond to class assignments, turning in incredible work. They participated in multiple business case competitions, which is like taking on an additional 2 classes. They were active in student government and many other extracurricular activities. They took extensive advantage of networking with Presidio's alums and professional connections. They clearly haven't slept in 2 years. I'm very proud to bestow this prestigious award on behalf of the faculty to Elena Noyes.
All right, we'll now be hearing from 2 more student speakers who were nominated by their peers to address this audience today. We in the administration were not surprised to see who the students chose for their speakers. They're clearly respected, and their words are deeply valued by students and faculty alike. First, we'll be hearing from Andrew Wells, followed by Declan Duran. So please help me in joining Andrew to the stage. Welcoming Andrew to the stage.
Hi. I just wanted to say thank you for everyone for coming out today from all over the world. It means the most to us. From those of you who are in this audience right now supporting us and who've been there for us, as everyone has mentioned in the last couple speeches, like, touches our heartstrings to know that we have such support. Also, all of those who are online, I know I've got a crew of friends from Bellingham who keep sending me little pictures, so shout out, love you all. Thank you for being there with me when I had all those late nights and trying to figure out what to do with my life. But yeah, I just wanted to say thank you again to my class too, class of 26, for nominating me to be able to speak on behalf of you. December 21st rolled around. It was the end of the semester, 2025. I thought I'd kind of wrapped up everything. My obligatory email came from University of Redlands that said, "Dear student, congratulations on your degree. You have graduated. You should see that in 6 to 8 weeks." And I said, awesome. They were right. It came in 6 to 8 weeks. And so I was pretty sure that I was just going to walk through graduation. It was going to be fine. But I appreciate all of you for nominating me to have one last homework assignment. I kind of think about this as the final boss of grad school. So I wanted to take it on myself. Normally I'd be well prepared with notes for a speech like this, but I think Presidio has taught me that the best speeches come from the heart, and that it's pretty easy to deliver a 5-minute speech. So it's harder to keep it under 5. So I just wanted to say, my journey to Presidio was kind of unexpected. Mid-career environmental professional, environmental engineer, worked for a big automotive company, kind of doing my thing, figuring it out. We got a sustainability director, and I was like, oh, I wonder what he did to get to his position. Saw that he went to Presidio. So I signed up. Just didn't really look into it, was like, oh, this sounds cool. And that might sound like I didn't take a lot of thought into this, but I've been looking at going back to grad school for a long time, trying to figure out what my path was, and the final decision was like, who do I want to be with? Who do I want to think about the wicked problems of the world with? And it was the folks who are thinking about sustainability, thinking about our future for generations to come. And those were the people that I wanted to converse with and learn with and try with and figure things out. And then keep meeting at conferences in the future. I was like, these people are probably fun. So I signed up. On this picture on the screen is actually a really important picture to me. This is the first day of grad school, walking down my steps to go to the airport. It's kind of like me on the precipice of the new life that I was going to lead. I made a commitment to myself this day that I was going to show up authentically to a new place. There was no burdens of, past weight, trying to figure out who I was. I could just show up as myself. And the opportunity to do so is something that I think is very unique to Presidio. I wasn't sure that this was the right place for me. I thought, I'm not going to Harvard, I'm not going to Stanford, am I getting a good education? And I think that was me wondering if the education I was getting was only about a textbook or about a test. And I had no idea about the education that I would get at Presidio. Going through all of our classes, I know that there were some challenges. We worked hard, we cried, we laughed, we stayed up really late. I'm good at staying up late for projects, as you all know. But we really questioned who we were, and I think this was the first time that I thought about, what are my values? Like, what do I care about? And why is this important to me? And then how can I challenge that with the people who can hold that space and hold that vessel to help me maintain that? I went into leadership, and we had to be vulnerable, and we had to journal about ourselves and our feelings, and that was really hard for me because I'd never journaled before. But I, again, made a commitment that I was going to show up authentically, and I wanted to be able to participate in that. And so I tried, and I tried hard, and I feel like I tried hard at everything I did here because I wanted to show up as my best self. I went into leadership too, and I remember saying to Andrea, who came up here earlier, change is really hard, and it's scary. And I think what I was afraid of was failure. Through my other classes, I learned that failure is not really what I was afraid of. It was really like understanding who I was and what I meant in this world and like where I'm going. And so, as we're moving through, I took an entrepreneurship class, which was also really scary because like inventing something from the ground up and then doing it. We made Apple stickers, they were pretty cool. They were biodegradable, and you could eat them. We recognize that you just build a prototype, and if you can build a prototype for somebody and put it in front of them, they can tear it down, and they can provide advice, they can provide guidance on how they want to recreate it, but you've already done all the hard work in building that piece. And so for me, this was about building my prototype and coming back into myself and understanding like, yeah, I can reiterate, I can be like water. I felt like a little bit of ice that needed to thaw at the beginning, so I appreciate you all being there with me for that, heating me up. But yeah, I think when it really came down to the education at Presidio, I mean, like, I know what EBITDA is, and I know that there's an internal rate of return for this investment. For all my newly minted business nerds out there, I would say this was about a 30%. High risk, high reward, short turnaround, 3 years. The risk wasn't financial for me. It was emotional. I wasn't sure who I was going to encounter. I wasn't sure what I was going to do. I wasn't sure if this was the right space for me, but this class has been phenomenal. I mean, we're surrounded by the best people that I've ever met in my entire life, and I'm so excited to be standing here in front of you today and standing here with you during this graduation. Again, high risk, high reward. My reward wasn't just getting A's. My reward was finding myself and figuring out who I was and how I could show up to be the best. And if you asked me 3 years ago if I'd be standing on the stage, no notes, no speech prepared, I would have thought you're crazy. And I'd be staring at this notebook right here. But I appreciate you all sitting with me through the last couple of years and learning and growing together to make this opportunity something that's possible. As we think about our future, there's a couple things that I want to say. Demasking is hard, and it comes with a lot of baggage of unburdening yourself with your past and bringing yourself into your future so you can be your best self. As it was mentioned earlier today, it's really important that we be there for our friends and our fellow classmates, and that we hold that space. I feel very privileged that I've had the opportunity to show up here. Like I said, I'm 36, mid-career environmental professional, cis man, got my colors, but able to show up wholly in a space. I think this is very unique to the Presidio community, and I really appreciate the faculty and all of the cohorts before me for upholding that belief and maintaining it. And I'm looking forward to the future of that. So as we think about our graduation and moving forward into life, this is the commencement, this is the start of our next journey. I'd like to say, hold that space. So I want to ask all my class to kind of grab some space, hold it, and just know that we've had the privilege of having this space for the last couple years, and that it's now our opportunity to take this space and hold it for others so that they can show up in their whole authentic self. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone, for being here. I'm so impressed with everyone that I've been graduating with and with everyone else in this room, because we are an extension of the support networks that we have. So I just got chills before this thinking about what's going to happen when we all leave today. So thank you. I planned to memorize my speech, but I rewrote it last night, as I did the night before that and the night before that. I really just couldn't get AI chatbots to stop using M dashes. So 19 years of schooling, and also I can argue with a robot that thinks it can write a better speech than me. I mean, it's unbelievable. No, this speech remains unblemished by AI. This means there are mistakes. This means it's rough around the edges. This means it's got jokes that are going to fall flat. And in short, this is not as good a speech as a robot would probably write. Yet somehow I know that the vast majority of the people in this room just breathed a sigh of relief, because this speech is imperfect and thus human. In all seriousness, the recent technological advances with AI made this an incredibly difficult time to justify getting a further education. A couple of weeks ago in my day job, I had one of these robots analyze all the emails I'd ever written. And then I gave it a hypothetical scenario that the person I'm training may face, and I asked it to predict what Declan would do in that scenario, and for what advice I would give to that person. Its response and general understanding of my approach was genuinely fantastic. In an effort to use modern technology to help my organization, I had essentially run a surprisingly effective pilot on how I could replace myself with a robot. And again, I was left pondering what it is we are really trying to do here at Presidio. 3 weeks ago, I was in a coffee shop working on one of my final projects when I received the news that the Trump administration had fired the entire group of people that oversee the Presidio National Park here in the Bay. I chuckled because Presidio Under Attack is in many ways an apt subtitle to describe the experience for many of us who have studied here over the past several years. I've been asked several times what the Presidio is, and frankly, I never really knew. I said, yeah, it's just sort of like the San Francisco Bridge area, but it's not the bridge, it's like the land on like either side. It's not a good enough answer. So I took that moment and to look up what Presidio actually is. Prison. Jail is the official definition. Well, here begins my speech on the prison that is graduate school. No, I decided to focus on the second definition, for which was a Spanish military fort. The San Francisco Presidio was built by the Spanish in the year our country was founded in 1776, and is famous for being the longest continuously used military outpost in the country. And at the end of the day, the Presidio was built for the purpose of protecting something valuable. And what I love about the Presidio's story is that its protective responsibilities were turned over from the military to the National Park Service in 1994. Because the most important defenses we have in today's world are not guns and missiles, but trees and community spaces and public servants. I live in Washington, D.C. I walk outside my office and I see the White House almost every day. Or at least these days I see demolition crews that are quite literally tearing things down. And for the past 3 years, I got to fly out here to the other side of the country and drive across that bridge in awe. And every time I was struck with the gravity of what I was coming out here to protect. And throughout my adult life, especially these last 3 years spent here at Presidio, it is palpably evident that our communities, our way of life, and our humanity is under attack. And in many ways, these attacks have been perpetuated by the way in which we have chosen to do business. A way of doing business that believes profits are equivalent to the net societal value that we've delivered. A way of doing business that does not seek sufficiency but is by its nature insatiable. A way of doing business in which the fundamental underlying principles of finance and accounting originated as practices to quantify and dehumanize and track slave labor during our country's darkest moments. So when people ask me what is different about this cohort of people graduating as masters of business and public administration, I say that this group knows what it is protecting. Nowhere else in my life have I found a community of individuals that will so reliably push each other, not just to master the skills and the tools and the practices of modern business, but also to ask, what are we missing? Who is hurt by this decision? Where do the effects fall? What voices are we not considering? What issue is upstream of this? Will this problem just emerge next year? Are we losing sight of who this solution is meant to solve and serve and support? To my fellow graduates, I want to remind you that you know what right looks like. You have been steeped in these conversations for years, and it is a wisdom that you have earned. And that you must trust in your gut, even if you cannot always articulate it. Because you have trained and sacrificed for this wisdom. And we are all acutely aware that it's not just us who have sacrificed, but everyone in this room. Earning this degree means you had less time for friends. It means you stepped back from your work. It meant you took out loans. It meant you cut back on your spending. It meant your communities had to fill in for you. It meant you spent family vacations color-coding spreadsheets. It meant you had many late nights. It meant your friends and relatives made space for you to crash on their couch. It meant you spent less time with your kids. And it meant that you didn't always have the focus and time to fully process everything that was going on in your life and in the world. And for that, I want to commend and thank every one of you and your support networks for making those sacrifices, because the world we are building will undoubtedly be better because of those sacrifices. One message to my fellow graduates. Our community rightfully applies a potent skepticism toward power in any scenarios where we would have it. We know that power is woefully misdistributed today. We know that power can blind you. And we know that power bears the responsibility of deciding which communities get hurt, which town doesn't get a new hospital, and which stakeholders get the short end of the stick. Positions of power are inherently impure, and as a result, I have seen the vast majority of the best people that I've met avoid positions of power for fear of letting others down. Though it is not likely something you've been told by those in this community, I am here to plead with you that you allow yourself to step into positions of power when the time is right. Because I look around today and I see a world that is replete with leaders, with poor leaders, from informal social groups to office heads and to elected officials. Power of what happens in our world is not going away, and someone is going to hold that power one way or another. And we exist today in a system where the incentives are pushing more and more to concentrate that power into fewer and fewer hands, and to those who are willing to cut out more and more of their humanity to obtain that power. We never know how someone is going to lead, but I would bet that a graduate from Presidio has the highest chance of producing the best outcomes for the world every single time. And that is because you have been trained by the best for this. You have been trained by Marcia, and by Elizabeth, and by Andrea, by Martina, by Casey, by Jennifer, by Mari, by Nitesh, by Brett, by Stephen, by Kelly, by Brody, and by the rest of our outstanding faculty. You have sacrificed for this. Your families and friends have sacrificed for this. Emily and Em have worked to prepare you for this. And I know that you are right to lead in these roles because I know that from our training here, you will relinquish your power when you believe that there's a better option and because you will not shy away from the consequences of your decision while you are in power. And I know that you are right to lead in these roles because, well, I think about this when I walk past several homeless people each day in DC on my commute to work. I'm always in a position of power to change each individual's day and buy them a meal, or help them get medical attention, or sit down and talk with them for an hour and see them as human. Sometimes I do these things, sometimes I do not. For me, I am still unsure about what the right amount of engagement is with these members of my community. But after my time here, I've decided that the most important thing isn't what I decide to do in each moment, but that I decide that I feel the weight of my decision every time. That I feel guilt and question myself when I walk past and continue with my day. I believe that not shying away from that guilt and that pressure is what makes good leaders. Those feelings are a bastion of our humanity. That humanity and that doubt are what we learn to protect here. We cannot emotionally comprehend our full impact on everyone around us, but I know each of you, as leaders and graduates from Presidio, will fight harder than anyone else to try. And I want to leave you all with this last point. We need people defending humanity right now more than we have ever needed in the past. We are entering a period of change with the onset of AI that is truly comparable to nothing else in the history of our species besides fire. No matter how it goes, it is going to change everything about how our world runs. The future every one of us subconsciously has in our minds for ourselves, for our families, and for our children is not going to come to pass as we think it is. For the first time ever, humans will not be the primary decision makers shaping the majority of our world or writing graduate speeches. So we need people with these skills that we have learned here at Presidio right now, who know how to preserve and support that humanity in the face of the coming restructuring of society and world order. We need you. So go out there and hold nothing back. Catherine Hayhoe said it best, it's a magnificent thing to be alive in a moment that matters so much. Thank you, and congratulations.
Thank you so much, Declan and Andrew, for so thoughtfully taking on that last assignment. You killed it. A+. It's now my privilege to introduce our keynote speaker for the day, Kelly Jones. Kelly was nominated to speak today by our student body, who have been inspired by her leadership in the field as well as her mentorship in the classroom. Kelly is a data scientist who instills in our students the power of critical discernment in an increasingly noisy and confusing world. As she herself has shared, every data set has a story to tell. It just needs a good storyteller. The intersection of data and leadership skills are essential, especially one with the potential for positive impact in the world. I would like to personally thank Kelly not only for joining us here today as a leader in her field, but as a beloved member of our community and supporter of the changemakers graduating here today. Please join me in welcoming Kelly to the stage.
Good afternoon, everybody. Presidio family, friends, faculty, and beloved graduates. Thank you sincerely to the graduates for inviting me to speak. It means a lot, and it is fitting that after all of the work I have assigned you, you finally got to assign me some right back. Since we're all friends here, I'm gonna start with a confession, which is that to the surprise of nobody who knows me, I procrastinated a lot in putting together my remarks today. And that was really because I was struggling with how to be truthful about the challenges that are facing us, with the equally true reality that today is a day of celebration, and there is a lot of reason to be hopeful. So buckle up, because here's where we have landed. I want to talk with you today about community and probability and hope, about old-timey bucket brigades, and about my new tree. I do want to at least acknowledge the reality of the current job market. It is not great, and I can't sugarcoat that. I've been out there recently myself, and let me just say, woof. Like many of today's graduates, I'm a millennial. I finished undergrad and landed straight in the 2008 financial crisis, and so this is the third major economic shock that I have been through already, and I am only in my 30s, technically still for 2 more days. So, thank you. So here's what I know from making it through. The job search can feel endless, and it can feel extremely personal. And ultimately, it is neither of those things. It will end, and it is not your fault if it is hard. You have never been more qualified for a great job. Your skill set is uncommon, it is highly relevant, and the world really needs your passion. My best recommendation for the search is don't do it alone. Don't double up the pain of job hunting by adding isolation on top of it. That's where the shame grows. Grab some buddies, park yourselves in a Zoom room or a coffee shop, work on your stuff separately or together, and be in this mess with a community. We live in a time of sometimes brutal paradoxes, including that you have never been more employable, and this may also be one of your toughest searches. So one of my favorite paradoxes from author Laura McCowan in her book Push Off From Here is, you can't do it alone, but also only you can do it. Both true. A quick tangent for those unfamiliar with me or my professional path. The first phase of my career was mission-driven work focused on educational equity. I taught 5th and 6th grade students in border towns in rural South Texas, and then worked on the systems side in academic research and program evaluation in Tennessee, for an elected official in Colorado who's now the mayor of Denver, and for a collective impact nonprofit in my home state of Washington. And then about 8 years ago, I learned to code and kicked off phase 2, which has been data science roles ranging from a 6-person startup to publicly traded tech companies. And I'm currently at DocuSign in Seattle. But also as part of phase 2, I was teaching at Presidio alongside these tech roles. Even in the best of markets, it can be hard to know what kinds of roles should you be applying for, which paths to follow. What is the work that is mine to do? And that's always been one of my most interesting and challenging questions. So I want to share the framing that has really stuck with me, which comes from someone I worked for almost 15 years ago, Mike Johnston, and goes something like this. There's a house on fire, and there are people inside. The community forms one of those old-timey bucket brigades to fight it, a human chain. Everybody passes buckets of water down the line, and it takes everybody for the system to work. It's a different experience depending on where you are on the line. If you're at the end near the fire, dumping that water directly on it, there is something deeply rewarding in that, in the experience of taking action and of seeing people escape. But you also have to feel the flames on your face and hear the screams of the people who are not out yet. Most people cannot stay there indefinitely. So you swap places with someone. You move farther down the line, you pass buckets for a while, someone else takes a turn dumping the water. Or maybe you go to the other end. Maybe you make sure that there's enough water to keep filling the buckets. What matters most is not where you are in line, but that you stay in it shoulder to shoulder with your neighbors and that you keep fighting the fire. This analogy resonated with me at the time because of years of teaching in a high needs setting had really felt like being close to the fire for me. And I was feeling guilty about taking a step back from that. Taking on the easier work on the policy side felt in some ways like I was quitting on the kids that I cared about. And moving to tech was really harder still in that regard. Mission-driven work can bring those complicated feelings. There's always that question of whether you're doing enough. It's challenging because each one person's work matters, but no one person's work can fully solve it. It's easy to get burned out if you're not keeping track of your own needs. So I offer the fire brigade analogy because it's become my gauge. Am I still in line? Am I satisfied with where I am in line? Am I even fighting the right fire? Being at Presidio is what has felt most like staying on the line as I shifted away from mission-driven work as my full-time day job. Your enthusiasm for building a better, more sustainable world, it's both practical and contagious. One of my favorite experiences each semester was watching as students wrestled to pick a topic for their data project, because every student had so many passions, and the winnowing down and narrowing process was amusing, but also very inspiring. Thank you all for teaching me so much about the power grid, energy transmission infrastructure, salmon survival in river ecosystems, bike paths, methane capture, reporting of toxic releases, so much more. I learned so much from you all. It has really felt like being shoulder to shoulder with you on the line. Now, if I may shift gears for a moment, and I'm gonna math you a little bit here. My better angels prevailed, and I am not going to do a data visualization woof of the week or a chart makeover as part of this address. However, I do want to revisit one topic from class, and that is probability. I revised my course, really to Declan's point, the whole world is changing. I kept revising my course semester to semester as I was trying to figure out what are the job relevant skills now. They're not the same as they were last semester. But the unit that I kept almost in its entirety was probability. And that's because it's the foundation of AI and large language models. It's research studies, statistical significance, public opinion polls, margins of error. It's at the root of all of it. It's so much of how we determine whether something is reasonable or not is based in this. What I really vividly remember from prepping that first set of probability slides was trying to come up with examples of things that I believed had a probability of 0, like no chance, literally no chance, or 1, 100% true certainty. What these things are really depend on your belief systems and, to some extent, your openness to whimsy. So where I landed, for an example, is I believe there's a probability of 0 that I am on Mars right now, and a probability of 1, 100%, that I am on Earth. Maybe you are not 100% confident in my example. Perhaps you think there is the tiniest chance, no matter how remote, that we could be in a simulation or in a giant dome on Mars or something else. But for me, those are the bounds of my certainty. 0 and 1, what planet am I on? Right now, not tomorrow, right now. So it was fascinating how many examples I kept coming up with and then thought, oh no, wait, but what if, that's not always true. Well, what if it could? So that room for doubt, in my world, that is hope. That room for doubt is hope. I'd like to read a passage from Rebecca Solnit that speaks to this idea. Hope locates itself in the premises that we don't know what will happen, and that in the spaciousness of uncertainty is room to act. When you recognize uncertainty, you recognize that you may be able to influence the outcomes. You alone, or you in concert with a few dozen or several million others. Hope is an embrace of the unknown and the unknowable, an alternative to the certainty of both optimists and pessimists. Optimists think it will all be fine without our involvement. Pessimists take the opposite position. Both excuse themselves from acting. It's the belief that what we do matters, even though how and when it may matter, who and what it may impact are not things we can know beforehand. We may not, in fact, know them afterward either, but they matter all the same, and history is full of people whose influence was most powerful after they were gone. Again, that's Rebecca Solnit from her classic Hope in the Dark. The probability is not 0 that we could wake up tomorrow in a radically different and better world. That's what I love about it. We don't know. We just really don't know. So often these days it feels like opening the newspaper is just a Groundhog's Day of, oh, what fresh hell is this now? But that's not only not strictly true, it's a mix of progress and setbacks. And the setbacks just hit harder and they feel louder, but it's also not inevitable. Tomorrow really, truly could be better. Inflection points and moments of big change, they can be scary, but there's also so much opportunity in them. I remember one time we had a power outage here at the San Anselmo campus during one of the residency. A couple of you were in my class during that one. And we somehow finished out the afternoon on Zoom, tethered to my cell phone hotspot, with the in-person students huddled behind me in like a half moon shape, looking over my shoulder at my laptop screen as we're all learning how to use Tableau together. You all really do not give up on this work. What ended up being most different for me about working with adults is the complexity of your lives. Being an adult learner is not for the faint of heart. I have learned so much from our students about watching the way that you have navigated your competing responsibilities while making this investment in yourself. Being your professor meant getting to hear about your challenges at work, about your injuries, your emergencies, your losses, and your grief, and to watch as each of you found your way through. One of my wishes for you in this next chapter is breathing room, that you don't have to get up so dang early to walk your dog, pack a lunch, and prep dinner before work to be ready for that evening class. I wish you time for hobbies, for sleep, for friends and family, for staring off into space, for not being productive at all. I wished you the spaciousness of a calendar that you don't have to optimize. Let me end with my new tree. I was lucky to get to buy a house a few years back, and the previous owner, a lovely woman named Nora, who left me all of her gardening tools, she adored trees. She had planted a bunch of them around the yard in her 30-plus years there, and so there's this Korean avodia that pollinators love, there's this big sprawling fig tree that the squirrels love, and there are 5 maples that I love. 2 of them she called the Sophie trees because they were planted the same year that her niece was born, and so I also call them the Sophie trees because that is how tradition works. So there's this one patch in the yard where she had had to remove a tree, and so it was empty for me, and I had been intimidated by the idea of selecting and planting a tree to fill the space. The city of Seattle runs this Trees for Neighborhood program each year where you can apply to get trees, and I finally got one. I got my free tree. So I went to a class, I learned how to plant and care for it, and then they dropped it off one day last October, and I was the proud owner of a little Green Gable Tupelo sapling, and I promptly planted that little guy in the ground. So all winter, it has been this just sad, scraggly, slightly bent little thing outside of my bedroom window, and it looked just dead, if I'm being honest. I was not sure that I had done it right. And as spring hit, the grass started growing, the tulips, which were also from Nora, came up, and the whole yard was coming to life, but my tiny tree was just still a big stick. Until 2 weeks ago when it wasn't. It bloomed. Or that's maybe not the right word, I'm not a botanist. Its leaves budded out, and dang if that didn't just feel like blooming. So I don't know how long I'll live in that house. A year, 10 years, 40 years? I don't know if I'll be there when it grows large enough to provide shade for my bedroom. But that is not really the point of planting things, is it? Is just to see what they can do for us. I only met Nora once, but I think about her often. She planted the trees and bulbs that I am still enjoying today. Her example has inspired me to plant more, to see another tree grow, to pay it forward, and it was a city program that helped me do that. It's just one tree, but we don't know the impact of our actions. We don't know what they accrue to, what they mean to someone, who holds on to them long after we've stopped remembering what we did. So I would offer that your actions have likely already left an impact that you may never get to know. Your good work, your kindness with classmates, your example of persistence, your insights with EL partners, they all matter. You've been a Nora to someone. Heck, you've been a Nora to me. So pick your fire and grab a bucket, find some acquaintances and hit the coffee shop, choose a tree and start digging, scramble all of your metaphors until you are dizzy. It is my sincere pleasure to be part of this community, and I can't wait to watch you plant trees and teach other people to plant trees and water trees and just to bloom yourselves. Congratulations, everybody. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Kelly. It's now the time you've all been waiting for. Time to present our class of 2026 graduates. Today, our graduates will be announced by Professors Elizabeth Burke and Andrea Prebys-Williams, and will be hooded in recognition of receiving their master's degree by our Dean, Dr. Jennifer Madden. Please join me in the presentation of the graduates.
Okay. The following students are candidates for the Masters of Business Administration in Sustainable Systems Solutions. Halen Elger.
Alexander Bogdan.
Yep. Scott McCrae Broadbent.
Declan Durand.
Nan Farley.
Christopher Kusera.
Han Tui Lei.
Grace Lynn.
Darian Molekos.
Maggie Mollering.
Elena Noyes.
Josh Plord.
Olivia Porat.
Audrey Chusa.
Amanda Sewell.
Charlotte Thomason.
Violetta Tutunik.
Camila Vega Friedman.
Andrew Wells.
Emma Wood.
The following student is a candidate for the dual degree Master of Business Administration and Master of Public Administration and Sustainable Solutions. Oh, I'm still here. Shay Hayden Howell.
Camille Lang.
Bin Lee.
Alexa Ortega.
Lindsay Joe Smith.
Amanda Teoman.
Congratulations, class of 2026.
It is both my duty and my privilege to present these candidates to you. As the dean and on behalf of the faculty and staff, I certify that these candidates have completed all of the academic requirements for their programs of study and are entitled to receive their degrees.
On behalf of Presidio leadership and in the University of Redlands School of Business and Society, we confer upon you the degree which you have earned with all attendant rights and privileges. Congratulations, graduates. We are so proud of you and all of your accomplishments. Following the recessional, we invite everyone to join us outside to celebrate our grads with drinks and cupcakes. Graduates, please stand. In the words of Ayanna Elizabeth Johnson and Catherine K. Wilkinson, let's move forward with love, not conquest, humility, not righteousness, generous curiosity, not hardened assumptions. It is a magnificent thing to be alive in a moment that matters so much. Let's proceed with broken open hearts, seeking truth, summoning courage, and focused on solutions. As you lead us out of this space today, know that the Presidio community is always behind you. We will always be here to support you as you achieve your dreams and change the world. Congratulations, graduates.